There we go. That wraps up Monday, and I gotta say, I feel pretty good today. Although we have a little bit of a red day today. I think we're down almost exactly like $9. You'll see in the charts in a little bit. But basically, we had a VWAP breakout. I bought the pullback, was looking for a continuation, and it didn't work this time. Whatever. The one before it, YTEN, actually had the same exact move. A little bit earlier in the day, had that VWAP breakout, pullback, and then a really nice rocket from there. I'll show you both of those charts in a little bit. But when our breakout didn't work, I noticed that there was too much consolidation, too much selling pressure. I closed my position. We took like a 0.8% loss or so. Not bad at all. And then the stock sold off about 10% or like 9% or something like that. So it was really good that we were able to cut our losses. I didn't have some sort of revenge trading from Friday, or I didn't think, just because YTEN broke to the upside after this same exact pattern that which was an AVDL was going to do the same thing. So it was really nice kind of trading day today. It was a little bit tougher because there was no clear lead gapper, I would say, but at the same time, we did have some interesting moves out of the open, but I was a little bit overwhelmed into kind of focusing on what to trade. But whatever, that's fine. Sometimes you have one of those kind of like confusion days, so it doesn't bother me whatsoever. And I just had a good time today. It was nice to be back in the markets without having some sort of crazy stress or just being too sick or I don't know. I enjoyed it. Plus, today was the first day I was able to work out again in like 2 weeks. So I had a little bit of, I don't know, just like a little bit more energy. You probably guys feel it in the video a little bit as well. Whatever, regardless, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoy this content. If you're totally new here, remember, we go live every morning at 9:15 a.m. to trade the market open. And first, we review the watch list. So if you're interested to learn more about day trading, definitely consider subscribing. I would love to see you in an upcoming live stream. That's pretty much everything for this intro. So let's get into the charts. All right. And the news is in. AVDL would have actually been a decent little dip buy here at $12, right when we had that peak volume candle, and then the second volume right here started turning green and the selling pressure slowed down a little bit. This is actually one of my favorite kind of reversal plays. I was a little bit cautious with AVDL because we sold off very aggressively, about 9% in just a few minutes here, and I was almost feeling like there was going to be some news coming out, like direct public offering or something like that. I mean, this is what we see a lot of the times, especially in April, more than any other month. I feel like I don't know about statistically, but lately in the last few weeks, it's been happening a lot, and I feel like I didn't notice it as much in the other months. So you'll have a nice little run up here, maybe second or third or fourth green day, something like this, and then before you know it, a public offering, and then let's say $5, and the price from goes from $10 to $5 in just a few minutes. We've been seeing that a lot lately, and sometimes the selling pressure starts like a few minutes before the news comes out. So I was thinking, okay, this is really aggressive selling pressure, so maybe we're going to see something like that, or else I probably would have dipped by this. Even though a perfect bounce, perfect top and perfect bottom is only about 5.6%, so really not that great in terms of dip buying potential. With AVDL, I'm not gonna lie, this trade, it felt good, even though we took a loss, and that's because we stuck to our trade thesis pretty perfectly. So AVDL, the whole time we were kind of consolidating this area, and I was like, oh, we didn't really have a lead gapper today, so there's a good chance that AVDL, which was one of our top stocks today, based on the catalyst, based on the price, based on the float, based on the gap up, which was about this gap was pretty aggressive, about 60%, 55%, but the market cap was about 450. Right now, AVDL, it's 574 million. That's really high. 35 million float, that's really high as well. But it did have a really good catalyst, phase 3 pharmaceutical biotech news, let's see, a narcolepsy kind of treatment. So good catalyst, that was there. But again, yeah, you got to watch out with these companies because, with such a big market cap and such a big float, oftentimes these aren't really the best gap and go kind of stocks because it takes so much to move these companies. So yeah, the whole time we were consolidating in this area, we had a double bottom, almost had a triple bottom here. But then we started making little moves here. And from this area all the way to the top, this was about an 8% move. Not really that crazy. And what I was waiting for was a break of VWAP with big volume, which we had. I bought on the dip, the first pullback here, and then we ran up about 3% from where I entered. This was looking good. We had some resistance at 3.5. We had a little bit of 1 minute pullback, and then I was looking for a secondary move like this. Ideally, getting into, I would have not held probably too much past 14. I don't even know if I would have held to 14. I probably would have sold high threes, take my 5, 6, 7% profit like I always do. But we were just not there yet. We just needed one more breakout, and I would have took profits on this one. Probably walked away. At the perfect high, I think we were only like $40 profit on this. So it wasn't, we weren't at the profit taking spot yet. If I always took profits here, 2-3%, then it would be very hard to grow an account. So I held through this dip, this pullback, which was a bit more aggressive. And then as we started seeing resistance here, as we broke 13, I was like, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm going to get out of this trade. And good thing I did, because this sold off very aggressively. And, I like to wrap up trading by kind of 10:30. And definitely by 11, you can see here, it's kind of been dead ever since then. So definitely a good thing that we wrapped up here. But yeah, AVDL, I mean, this could have been a good ticker, but this time it didn't perform. And actually YTEN, this is the one that kind of did perform. Let me show you almost the exact kind of same trade. This one happened a little bit earlier in the day. So, gapping up YTEN, let's quickly just review the pre-market chart on this one a little bit. Gapping up here, 50%. Whoops. Okay, let me go back here. Yeah, 50%. Did pull back from the highs, though, about 20%, which isn't the worst, but still something to think about. Try to open up here, have a gap and go, failed. Then kind of consolidated here at the 6.5 area. It wasn't really interesting until right around here when we had, you can kind of see on the 5 minute, you can see a little break back above the 6.65 area and then a pullback. And that's right here, break above the 6.5 area and then a bit of a pullback. So buying again on this pullback at 6.5 would have been the ticket, would have been one entry, would have been kind of the slow, boring entry. And you can't even really argue a safer entry because you don't know if this is just going to keep selling off, right? And that happens a lot. I probably would look for an entry right here at 6.9 when we break higher and then we pull back. We have a nice 1-2 minute pullback, and then we actually have one more pullback. This is kind of scary here because this is a really easy red candle to get faked out on, I think. What I actually said during the live stream is, waiting for one more confirmation. And to me, this would have been the confirmation. You kind of break above 7 after this. So we broke above 7. This is about a 5% move, and then we have a 1 minute pullback. And this is a big breakout. We have a big breakout here on the 5 minute chart, and then we have a 1 minute pullback here. One of my favorite kind of setups. And then from here, you could have entered around 7.25, let's say. And then, ran this up 12-13%. That's a nice move. And then again here, it did another move, 14%. This one would have been a little bit harder. I don't like these overextended moves. This is kind of like 1, 2, 3 pullbacks already, and kind of scary stuff, but would have worked as well. After 10:30, things get a little bit ugly. There is a nice little dip by here at 7.2. We were kind of talking about this one as a stream as well, that, between 7 and, 7.20, I think I said good dip buy. I don't know if I said 7.20, but I definitely said $7 would be a really nice dip buy zone. So yeah, YTEN was definitely the ticket. We traded AVDL and kind of the same setup, this VWAP breakout pullback setup, right? Both of them had the same setups. YTEN, this one ran up, 30% plus, and AVDL pulled back. So I should have got aggressive on YTEN. And I remember even looking at it, I was just like, right here. I'll have to go back to the live stream and kind of go through my thought process a little bit, but I was talking about it. We were watching this live and I was just kind of staring at it. In my head, I was like, this is a breakout. This is looking perfect. Like, I should be getting aggressive right now. And I just didn't do it. I'll probably tell you why. And it's because, last week was such a fumble week for me. And I feel like, it's a Monday and, buying a breakout at 10 o'clock is not, I said this as well. I don't like buying those like 10 o'clock breakouts. I don't know. I wasn't like 100% on board with it, but looking back, it's always 2020 looking back. But even at the time, I did have this kind of feeling that this could be a good setup. So I should have went with it. It was still before 10:30, and that's in my time slot to where I should be getting aggressive. YTEN looks pretty interesting in this area. Might have a little bit of a pullback here to like 7.8, and then maybe buy another leg up. This could be a good move here. Let's kind of watch this for a second here. $8 here, getting pulled back a little bit. Yeah, these are just kind of sketchy trading hours. This is like when things really get shaky. Not to mention we had a little bit of a double top here at 8.5, big time resistance here. You gotta watch out with that stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything. I mean, other stocks we were looking at, AYTU, I didn't really like it because it was on the backside of a move, but we did have, and what I mean by backside of the move, you can see here on the daily chart, we had a big move, consolidation and breaking out higher. Yeah, I don't know, it did have a catalyst. Shares were a little bit high though. And the catalyst really was kind of ridiculous. It was like, we won't pursue a reverse split, which is good news. I mean, that is good news because reverse splits tend to be horrible for investors. Basically, if the stock is trading under $1, NASDAQ doesn't want that, so you'll get a compliance notice that you got to get your stock price up above $1, which leads to a bunch of shady stuff. And then they'll do, instead of, getting it to $1, let's say it's at 80 cents, they'll do a, 10 to 1 reverse split. And then all of a sudden it goes from 80 cents to $8. But you had maybe 10 stocks or 10 shares, now you have 1 share. And then basically the dilution starts, and before you know it, it's back at $1. And it's just a big loss for everyone, except the company, because it depends. If they can capitalize on a move like that by selling stocks into the market or something like that, they could obviously raise capital, which they could reinvest into the company, and which could be a good thing for the company. But oftentimes, it's just horrible for investors. So you gotta really watch out with those setups. So I don't know. AYTU, I wasn't really ever too stoked about it. A perfect entry and a perfect exit would have only netted you 12% right here from this pullback. But still, it could have been done. It could have been done, especially because it moved pretty quickly. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles. I mean, you could have made 10% 7 candles. So yeah, AYTU. Again, getting aggressive first thing in the morning. This would have been an option. I didn't really like trading AYTU. It was not like something I was looking at very excited. Let's quickly talk about VXRT just very quickly here, because this one's kind of moving up really nicely. I was a little upset that I missed this big run up here. We had a consolidation and a secondary run. So yeah, I mean, the morning there was some stuff. It was just a lot of scattered stuff. There was no, one stock that I felt like everybody was looking at. What was the catalyst with VXRT? Did it have a catalyst? Deutsche Bank reports to quarterly results. Not really, no. Yeah, Friday midday kind of came out with some news here. Actually, morning. Yeah, I don't know, kind of accumulation of news. This one's been on a nice run for a while now. Had a low of 25 cents and now it's at $4. So pretty big move. I could see this continuing today. I could see this, keep on pushing. So VXRT, a bit on my radar. This could even be an afternoon run. Maybe I would go ahead and trade this one at one point. It does look like it's breaking out higher here. Big buyers, look at that. That's really nice to see that. VXRT, kind of interesting. Really quickly, I do want to just kind of point out that an AKD, this was one of our lead gappers as well. It's gapping up 300%, 2 million market cap, 1 million float. It's actually an Australian textile company. This one had really no news about it. Let me quickly see here. We did have, some investor kind of showing that they had over a 10% stake, and I don't know, the catalyst was weird. And it was gapping up 300%. So I really think this was a bit of a short squeeze. It's kind of getting some momentum here. This was a tough one. It was just getting halted a lot. Found some support around 0.9 and had some really strong bounces. I like the way NAKD bounced. It was just a lot of big bounce potential, but it was a bit wish-washy of a stock. It would have been kind of hard to play this one properly. And I was, you could have tried to buy this breakout, VWAP pullback, and before you know, you get halted and you're down 14%. So the pullbacks were very aggressive on it. So I wouldn't feel comfortable buying, a move like this. Like, okay, maybe we're breaking back above the 15-minute EMA. Maybe we're going to retest VWAP or something like that, but then all of a sudden, you know, boom, flash crash, you're down 10%. So I don't know. In AKD, I kind of avoided trading this one today. I think today was a bit trickier of a day. But if you got aggressive at the right time, just like with YTEN, it could have been a very profitable day. So yeah, a little bit of, you just got to know when to get aggressive, and sometimes you got to listen to your kind of gut feeling a little bit, and YTEN, I should have listened to my gut feeling a little bit, but whatever. That's the case of the Mondays, especially after being sick for like 2 weeks, like whatever. Sometimes I got to give myself a little bit of a break, and it's not the end of the world. So this pullback YTEN, whew, man, there's some real interesting pullbacks right now, I got to admit, but got to watch out. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the recap video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that like button if you guys did enjoy. If you're totally new here, remember we go live every morning at 9:15 to trade the market open. So definitely consider subscribing. I'd love to see you in the chat room. Yeah, guys, like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.